simple or bare, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kind of patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It's 9:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the big question is, can Cardano get back to $1.40 from here? It's a big question, and there's some information that I'm going to share that's going to answer that question, I guess, to a small degree. Is it possible? Can Cardano get back to $1.40 from here? We're currently trading at around 26 cents. We've been hovering this area for a minute. And you know, the broader sentiment is that Bitcoin is very likely to continue to the downside, potentially bottoming around 52,000. That's extremely possible. But we've also seen Cardano can stop at different points and bottom out before Bitcoin does. And there's some relevance to this, obviously, and what's going on. And I thought, you know what, it's Friday. Let's get in before the big fake out. I don't even know. I haven't looked much at the charts yet. I'm not sure if the fake out has happened, but typically we could get a Friday fake out. It's going to trap a lot of traders for the weekend. So be very wary of what's happening in the price action. Now it's 9:49 and pretty much anything could happen. But I've got a lot of crypto news that I want to share across the board. And I also want to announce that the contest for winning a free website is nearing its close. We've got 14 hours and 10 minutes. All of you know by now I've launched dirtyleopard.com as my web development arm. Basically, I'm building websites again, selling websites, working on it anyway. And I'm about to get 50 entries in this contest that I'm going to be announcing in 14 hours. Somebody's going to win a free website. The link is in the description below. You know, I've been going through some of the websites and I'm like, yeah, a lot of you guys need it. So one way or another, hopefully we get you into a new website very soon, but we'll see. The contest seems to be going pretty well. And last night I just kicked off the crowscore.com website. I'm telling you guys right now, no bullshit, no cap, as they say. This is the best deep dive asset review metrics ranking platform I've ever seen. I finished it last night. Well, it's never going to be finished. I'm always going to be working on it more. You can register for a free account. And last night I even added annual accounts paid for in Cardano. I haven't tested this fully yet. I'm pretty sure it works. I've tested the workflow, but basically it's 1,200 ADA for a year for a CrowScore account. And I tried to calculate it all based, you know, as best I can, matching what it would cost for a year and then using Cardano. And if it drops lower, it drops lower. The price isn't going to go up. It's just going to stay 1,200 ADA for a year. It is what it is. And I have to do that because you can't do subscriptions with crypto yet. I mean, maybe you can some places, but I haven't found it. So I'm just doing it for an annual account. You've never seen anything like this. I showed some of this in yesterday's video, what's possible. I've also added a strategy vault for the community. So if you have an account, I'm going to be adding a lot of bot trading strategies to the platform. People can post comments. I'm going to set it up so that you can fork those strategies, creating your own, using mine as a basis and improving on them. So basically all of my bot trading and deep research into crypto assets is done right here. I'm telling you right now, I've been sharing, even on my Twitter, I shared the full Solana report and people are like, whoa, this is legit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually very proud of this. So if you really want to know like what's happening, if you want I suggest you try it out. You set up a free account, you're going to get 1 token so that you can do a full report if you'd like, and you're going to be amazed. And if you're trying to establish a watch list for a portfolio, for whether we do a big turnaround here anytime soon or the next bull market, whatever the case may be, I really don't think there's anything better than Crow Score. And I'm not just saying that because I built it. It's freaking badass. So check that out, crowscore.com. Now let's get into some crypto news. OpenClaw, if you are an OpenClaw AI user, and I say user with intent because I feel like it's very addicting, but the newest version, 2026.2.12 is out officially. There's a new model in town. It's GLM5 and Minimax M2.5. These models just keep getting more and more powerful. GLM5 is a model that it's starting to score better than even Claude and GPT, and it's significantly cheaper. You can run it open. You can run it open source on Hugging Face as well, but you're not really going to run it locally. It's like I forget how many trillion parameters it is. I think it's like 1.5 trillion parameters. So you're not running this on consumer end. You're not running this on your Mac locally, okay? But GLM5 does look pretty sharp. I've seen it in action. It's pretty good. And then Minimax M25, I haven't dove into yet, but I'm getting into it. But anyway, you can have an IRC channel for your bot, 40 security fixes, and then custom provider onboarding, compaction improvements, and more. So your agent called it once an upgrade. So if you're starting to dabble with OpenClaw, update it. Now, I was just showing somebody why I'm broke and why Charles Hoskinson is wearing a McDonald's uniform in his lectures lately. The man lost over $3 billion apparently, and I guess he's been selling off some of his major assets. I just traded in my Escalade yesterday. I mean, it is what it is. I'm at a point in life where I'm like, I just don't care about any of that shit anymore. I just don't. And I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, listen, with the number of lessons that we've learned since 2021, I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm more about security than I am flash and trash. I just don't care about any of that. I just want to be safe at this point. And, but yeah, down 83%. And the question is, where do we go from here? Because when we've reached this position in Cardano and really across the board with a lot of other assets, we've reached a point where we get substantial reversals, and that's kind of what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to go into that. Will Cardano's ADA surge 6x to $1.40 before midnight drops? And this is, will it happen after midnight launches? Well, much better chance. And I know that apparently Midnight's mainnet is supposed to be kicking off in March. So not that far. But here we are down 82% with Cardano. And, the question is like, well, what's happening? Can we go up to $1.40 before Midnight's mainnet? Cardano's developer team made quite a few big announcements during the Consensus Conference in Hong Kong. This year's edition features Charles Hoskinson dressed in a McDonald's costume, taking the reins from fellow colleague Vitalik Buterin as a major crypto figure with the most extravagant swag. Here's what Cardano's bounce back hinges on. On the stage, Cardano Midnight's team also shared the timeline for the sidechain's mainnet launch. Mainnet is supposed to provide a stable environment for builders to operate and launch privacy-focused decentralized applications on Cardano's sidechain. According to Midnight's official X, this is designed to support early applications built around selective disclosure and real-world privacy. I just saw something on X recently that was talking, Daily Coin, get rid of this stupid-ass bar at the top of your website. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on a website. I don't know what the point of this shit is, but a lot of these crypto sites are trying to do all kinds of stuff to improve profitability. I get it, but yeah, this is terrible. It's like a Jeffrey Epstein document right now. Like, this isn't a news site. But anyway, I'm just going to keep going. Well, I saw this X post about an insurance company wanting to utilize midnight for the insurance industry. And I'm like, brilliant. That's exactly what it's used for. That's exactly a solid use case. Insurance and identity right now. Honestly, anything contractual, I think, could be very big on midnight. Real estate, I think, is going to be very big on midnight. I think that the number of use cases, enterprise or otherwise, for midnight and effectively Cardano are abundant. We just have to get them on board now. We just have to get them building, help them build. I don't care what Charles, IOHK, I don't care what resources they have to put into helping major players in any variety of markets or use cases get applications launched on midnight and Cardano. They need to do it, and they need to do it now. And apparently, I believe they have already started, and we're just waiting on some of these announcements right now. So it'll be very interesting to see. I know some of this stuff is supposedly coming out this month and next month. Midnight Mainnet is coming. On the Consensus Hong Kong stage, we shared that Midnight Mainnet will officially go live before the end of March. This marks a major milestone in the beginning of a live production network designed to support early applications built around selective other stuff. Along with this, many market connoisseurs are expecting substantial capital to start rolling in. Privacy chains are among the top crypto narratives in 2026. However, the legal uncertainty has pushed classic privacy coins like Monero and Zcash to the sidelines in most institutional surroundings, not to mention the delisting from major exchanges like Binance. And there are a lot of reasons for this too, because a lot of them are not regulatory compliant, and they weren't built to ever be, as I understand it, but Midnight was. And this is going to be the big thing that I believe separates Midnight from everything else out there. And I do think we're going to see a transition in a lot of these folks that are invested in Monero and Zcash. And I do see a lot of that that volume flowing into Midnight instead. And I think this is going to become more readily apparent as time continues. Cardano whipped by bears, Night token slips. Night token's been sitting in a channel for so long now. With Cardano's ADA price now floating just above 26 cents, seasoned market analysis point to the structure resembling that of late 2024. Back then, Cardano's market value hit the same 26-cent mark before bouncing off to $1.40 in less than 3 months on December 7th, 2024. However, this potential 600% run will be scratched out if ADA's setup breaks that demand zone. On the 4-hour chart, the threshold for Cardano must stay above 25 cents. Zooming out, the daily chart indicates a lower demand territory at 22 cents. On Midnight side, the newly launched native Night token skyrocketed beyond 200% in 2 weeks since launch, but now has succumbed to the broader ultra bearish trend, dropping 25% in 30 days to around almost 5 cents. I mean, like I said, the channel that Midnight has been surviving in and continuing to move on, I've been in a long forever now, and it really hasn't gone anywhere, done anything, but that's very likely to change soon. So the question is there any chance of us resembling 2024's price action with ADA based on Midnight preparing to launch its mainnet and the adoption that is very likely going to come with it? So, I mean, we're going to find out, and it's not going to take that long to find out. Cardano upgrades keep coming in crypto. Here's why ADA still depends on Bitcoin's next move. Yeah, we'll see. Cardano is rolling out major updates, including Layer 0 integration, which I talked about yesterday, which is basically going to open up Cardano to another like $80 billion in liquidity for DeFi and everything else across chain through its interoperability protocols, which I think is going to be a huge deal. USDCX So it's basically like Circle stablecoin X that is going to take advantage of privacy and a midnight mainnet by late March. Bitcoin's breakdown into the mid 60s keeps the broader market fragile, and a deeper 30% drop is still possible. If Bitcoin falls again, ADA could revisit the 22-cent area quickly, with 20 cents and 15 cents, 15 to 17 cents as deeper downside zones. All of this is possible, but here's the thing. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing everything possible to hold on, because to sell at these lows, not only did these lows come so quickly, I mean so quickly. I mean Bitcoin, everything across the market has basically reached potential bottom territory in a matter of a few months, which tells me that we could also reach new highs in a matter of a few months. And a lot of that is going to be dependent upon the catalyst associated with what's going on in the world, in the market infrastructure. I mean, they're trying to get that thing finished by spring, right? Well, that's just a few months. I think there are a lot of catalysts that can really start sending things in a reversal to the upside literally any day. I really feel like anything is possible. However, when I look at the banks and I look at the way they're holding everything hostage, I look at the control they have over the markets, I look at everything else that's happening during this transitional period and this uncertainty, I don't think the market is going to completely turn around in a matter of a few months. I think we might start an upward trajectory from here, or maybe we go down a little bit lower because, I know that the Wyckoff patterns are playing out almost to the T. And Wyckoff basically says that in the pattern we're in right now, we could very easily see between 52 and 55,000 before finding a bottom. And then we enter an accumulation phase. That could run for about 140 days before we then start seeing a markup phase, which is the parabolic period of a cycle. So I do think that regardless, the next 6 months are going to be very interesting. And I do believe over the next 6 months, if we can hold on, we're going to start seeing some substantial growth in our assets. So Cardano keeps shipping upgrades even while the market is tense and prices look ugly. This week, the network approved a major layer 0 integration, linking Cardano to more than 160 different blockchains. A new privacy-focused stablecoin called USDCX is also expected to launch at the end of February, adding another utility layer to the ecosystem. And that's not all. Cardano's Midnight partner chain is now confirmed a mainnet rollout before the end of March. So from a fundamental standpoint, things are moving on Cardano and Midnight. The problem is price doesn't really care right now. ADA is still chained to Bitcoin's next move, and Bitcoin looks weak. And that's true. They're showing a potential drop down to lower than 45,000. And that's possible. And if Bitcoin were to drop to 45,000, what does that mean for ADA? Well, it could mean maybe 15 cents. It sucks, but I'm also not willing to sell now at a chance that it drops another 10 cents or so in hopes that I'm going to buy back in 10 cents cheaper. To me, it's not worth the risk given everything that's happening right now with Cardano and Midnight. It just doesn't feel right to me. I sold a little bit at like 80 cents. And that's basically what I'm living on right now, like really. So that's why I started dirtyleopard.com, trying to sell websites to keep afloat. I'm really hoping that some sentiment comes back so that crowscore.com finds some adoption, because that has been something I've been wanting to. Crowscore.com right now is what I've been wanting to build for, it's been 4 years, 5 years now. It's finally exactly what I wanted it to be. And now the market's like it's gone, right? Like nobody cares. So my hope is that over time, as I get some, I'll call it micro adoption amongst maybe my community and some of the people out there that still care and still want to prepare and know what's happening with all these chains. I mean, one of the features, and this is a kind of a plug, but it's also important, is there are so many claims made on like Reddit and X.com. And one of the things that CrowScore does is it takes all of those claims and then either validates them or debunks them based on real on-chain activity. And it'll tell you, yeah, this is true, or it'll confirm it. And I've showed this yesterday in a video briefly. You just have to go through one of the reports for one of your favorite assets, and you'll see. And if there isn't enough information, either on chain or otherwise, it'll just say there's not enough information. But the majority of the questions in the content that it pulls, it's able to either verify or debunk it. And what I noticed is a lot of the claims made online about Solana are true one way or the other. They've been confirmed one way or the other. With Cardano, however, if you look at the Cardano report that was ran, a lot of the claims made on social media about Cardano are false. And I'm probably going to do a video at some point where I show this. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a brain. It's a brain. When people say what's their crow score, I really want it to matter. And I want people to understand that, like, if you don't have a crow score, you haven't even done your research on the asset. And that's honestly how I look at it. But anyway, could Bitcoin still drop another 30%? A 30% drop from current levels would drag Bitcoin into the $47,000 to $50,000 range. That sounds extreme, but it's not impossible if you look at the structure. There's a lot of open space below the current zone, and the next major support level sits much lower than where Bitcoin is trading today. There's another element that I'm going to probably start adding to my live streams, and that's the Kayotaka website, because it shows the liquidation heat maps. There's not a lot sitting below where we're at right now in price. It's not to say that we can't go there, but there's just not a lot of reason for at least the market makers to try and push the price down. There's a substantial amount of liquidity above where we're at in price, all the way up to $100,000. So I do think, if anything, where we're at right now in the price action is maybe we dip a little lower. But I think there will be some sort of catalyst that at the very least sets us back to $100,000 Bitcoin and likely some decent pumps. And I think the pumps in the altcoin market are going to be relevant to, like, what have you done for me lately? And in that sense, we're going to be seeing like all of the benefits of everything that is coming out for Cardano at midnight in that time frame. I do believe are going to be major catalysts for people increasing their adoption of Cardano and Night Token once the mainnet goes live. So I think anything is absolutely possible from here. So I'm not taking any major risks. Charles Hoskinson posts the quantum plan. Charles Hoskinson's post-quantum plan revealed, backed by Google and Microsoft Research. How many of you heard about this yet? This is a big deal for Cardano. Charles Hoskinson reveals his post-quantum security plan for Cardano with Google and Microsoft Research support. Hoskinson says Nightstream can replace zero-knowledge systems without major changes to Cardano's core network. Cardano Nightstream project targets quantum-resistant encryption using fast lattice-based cryptography systems for blockchain. This is going to get interesting. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson posts quantum plans are putting this reads like a post, like he's posting it. No, this is post-quantum plans. This is when quantum computing is an actual thing that poses a realistic threat to blockchain encryption. Charles is already putting plans to work. So his post-quantum plans are putting quantum cryptography into focus as the network prepares for future quantum computing risks. On February 13th, speaking at Consensus Hong Kong, Charles Hoskinson shared details about a post-quantum program called Nightstream. Remember this name, folks, Nightstream. His post-quantum strategy includes working closely with researchers connected to major technology companies such as Google, Linux communities, and Microsoft Research. The goal is to develop encryption that can remain secure even if quantum computers become powerful enough to break today's cryptographic standards. He described Nightstream as a future-ready replacement for Cardano's existing zero-knowledge systems. The system is designed so it can be added when needed without requiring major changes to Cardano's main network. Why Nightstream matters. We all know why it matters. There's no sense in going deeper, but I'm very interested in learning more and seeing what else is going to come of that. Let's see here. What is this going to do? Ripple's XRP, next price targets, Cardano whales on the move, and more. I don't really care about that right now. I think there's bigger fish to fry. Uh, Ethereum price attempts a 10% bounce as the whales add $2 billion. Ethereum whales added $2 billion, but price is still stuck below $2,000 resistance. Possible short-term selling jumped 660% as ETH failed to hold the 2140. $3 billion in shorts versus 755 million in longs sets up high risk squeeze scenario. Can anybody see the pattern? I'm curious if anybody can see the pattern overall. What is one of the biggest problems that we now have in blockchain that's basically causing so much confusion, uncertainty, doubt, loss? It's leverage, period. It's all these leverage vehicles. The problem is the institutions are trying to create all of these paper vehicles to expand on Bitcoin's original 21 million. That's not even a thing anymore. We keep talking about this 21 million Bitcoin, this 21 million is all there's ever going to be. Folks, we've so far surpassed 21 million Bitcoin, and with all of these extra vehicles, think about what banks do. Okay. Think about this fractional reserve banking system they're trying so hard to maintain and uphold in the face of all of this new regulatory structure and everything facing them in terms of with regards to crypto. If you put $1,000 into your bank account, that bank then goes no longer having to retain any of it. They don't have to keep any capital reserves, right? So then they take that $1,000, loan it to another bank. Then they loan it to another bank, and then they loan it to another bank. And then those three banks are loaning your same $1,000 to other banks and creating this big web of shit, right? That's what they do. So they're making money hand over fist on your $1,000 while they're paying you half a point interest. Okay. They're making God knows what across the board in their fractional reserve banking bullshit. And then when you want to go take your $1,000 out of the bank, well, now they want to know, well, why do you need it? What do you want it for? Why are you so special that you want your money back out of our bank? Well, really what they should be saying is, we're really sorry, but we're corrupt as fuck, and we've loaned that $1,000 out so many times and we're making so much money, and we really don't want you to have it back because now we got to move a bunch of shit around to get that money back. And we don't have any capital reserves, so you're kind of screwed unless you give us a good enough reason. And then we're going to make it really, really difficult. And the more money you want to take back from us, the more difficult we're going to make it on you. And that's the banking system. That's the banking bullshit that we're dealing with right now. And this is why they're afraid of stable coins. They're afraid of decentralized finance. They're afraid of all of that. So yeah, this whole thing is so beyond frustrating. A new poll by crypto analyst Ali Martinez is highlighting growing uncertainty around Bitcoin's potential market bottom. The survey, which gathered nearly 2,000 votes, asked followers why they believe or where they believe Bitcoin could find its cycle low. The results show a split market. A lot of people, the majority, believe that we're going to see $38,000. Well, why do we think that that's even a possibility right now? It's because of leverage. When I say I'm looking at Kiyotaka for, liquidity heat maps, it's because we're trying to see, well, how many people are in a short now as their liquidation prices are up as high as $100,000 or more based off of the leverage they're in and the position they chose, whether they're long or short. Well, the more the conviction is that we're going to go lower and lower, the same way the conviction was, we're at the beginning of a bull market. We're at the beginning of a price cycle. We're at the beginning of this, and look at all of this stuff. Every YouTuber, including myself, all of us are morons. We're all morons, period. I don't give a shit how big the channel. I don't care who they are, what they've done, what they've accomplished. Everyone was wrong. Everyone was wrong. And while everyone was wrong, everyone was telling everyone else it's going to go up even more, which then makes everybody go long because everybody thinks, hey, oh, I'm going to go long because everybody, like Ricky said this and Lark said that, and Rand says this, and all these people are saying all this shit that we're going to the moon. I'm going to get so fucking rich and I'm going to leverage trade because all of it. It's all a big hustle. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Everybody's always guessing all the time, 24/7. That's all anybody's doing. What was not Rand Nooner? Who's the banana boat guy? Where's the banana? Right? And then he goes out on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a moron. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't follow me. Don't follow the convictions of other people for your investment scenarios and this and that. And I'm like, wow, dude. Like, then you should shut the fuck up forever. You should never speak publicly ever again if it's that bad, right? Like a lot of these guys who are reaching millions and millions of people and sharing their sentiment and convincing everybody that something is going to happen that ultimately doesn't. And then all they do is they go back and say, I'm sorry, you shouldn't listen to me, right? So, the sentiment is, well, at that point, it was, we're going to go higher. So all of these leverage traders are going long, which is creating all of this liquidity at lower prices. So then when we get these liquidity sweeps, because the market is so manipulated that it's all a big bunch of bullshit, right? Because there's no natural market conditions at this point with all of the bankers and the traders and Wall Street and everybody in. They're just doing what they do. They know the game better than anyone. So they're just doing their thing. Well, now the opposite is starting to happen, right? We're starting to see a lot of the liquidity sitting up much higher than the current price. And so, the liquidity to me is a big, big problem in crypto, but it is what it is. Maybe we get some lower price action before we bottom out. I honestly think that 52 grand it might be the lowest we see. I think that could very well be the bottom. And then at that point, we start turning around and we start seeing some pumps to the opposite side because that's honestly where the money is now. It's not at 52,000. If we get to 52,000, it's so that the institutions can continue buying in with their ETFs and then they're going to change sentiment and then it's going to push prices higher. And all these traders are going to be locked into their short positions that they were just convinced by everyone and their brother, we're going to go even lower. We're going to go even lower. So, yeah, the whole thing is it's a hustle, every bit of it. Goldman Sachs shares tank pre-market as top lawyer resigns over Uncle Jeffrey Epstein emails. Not even going to go deeper into this, but this should not surprise anybody. It is what it is. The names popping up all over the place. It's insane. CFTC taps Coinbase Ripple leaders for new innovation advisory committee. There's a new 35-member committee, the Innovation Advisory Committee, to advise on crypto policy and market structure. So, Brad Garlinghouse, basically a lot of the centralized folks are part of this committee. And I find that very interesting and very telling. And I saw the list. I don't remember where it was, but Charles is not on that list. So the founder of the most decentralized secure blockchain out there is not a part of this committee, but pretty much everyone that heads up a centralized chain, they're being pulled in for powwows. I find that very telling and what direction the government is planning to go with things and what kind of advice they're going to be getting from these individuals. These build fast and break things and let's launch a block like the shadiest fucking blockchain known to man. Let's be a part. I mean, get out of here. Get out of here with this shit, man. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach, but it is what it is. It doesn't really mean anything for Cardano overall, because whatever these guys do is very likely going to benefit Cardano. And as long as Cardano keeps its head down and continues building and just launching, you're not going to be able to hold it back. Are quantum-proof Bitcoin wallets insurance or fear tax? Post-quantum Bitcoin wallets are already on sale, leaving investors to decide whether they're buying insurance or paying up a fear tax. It's a good question. Because I feel like it's way too soon for this. So anybody that, in my opinion, and I haven't even read through this, but anybody that's selling like these post-quantum wallets, to me, I think it's bullshit, but I don't know. Cryptocurrency wallet makers and security companies are pushing out post-quantum products, even though large-scale quantum computers capable of breaking Bitcoin do not even exist yet. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology finalized its first quantum cryptography standards in 2024 and called for migrations before 2030. That makes sense because by 2030, this is definitely going to be more of a threat, at least in my opinion. But as standard bodies plan for gradual cryptographic transition, parts of the wallet market are already monetizing that future. I do feel that it is a bit of a fear tax. We know that quantum computers are far away, still 5 to 15 years. I doubt it's going to be that long. But 2030 is probably a safer bet. Co-founder of Build on Bitcoin told Cointelegraph. Bitcoin is trading roughly 50% below its October 2025 high. Among the handful of theories attempting to explain crypto's recent decline is a growing concern that quantum computing risks may be deterring institutional capital from Bitcoin. No, it's not. That's bullshit. I don't buy that for a second. I think it's all happening exactly as it's supposed to. And yeah, it is what it is. Make sure you click the link in the description below to make sure you enter. You'll fill out the very brief SEO audit. And remember, this is this is what you have to do to enter the contest for a free website. But a lot of companies charge money for these audits. So yeah, I'm basically doing it on my own dime. And then of course, crowscore.com. If you actually give two shits about crypto assets still, and you want to know what the truth is behind a lot of them, what's going to happen, bullish case, bearish case, what to expect, all of that fun stuff. I mean, pretty much anything you want to know, you're going to get in a CrowScore report. And they are very, 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 I think they're very valuable. And I think it's going to become a bigger and bigger thing as the validation starts to come from what CrowScore is pumping out for these assets. So, and I'm always going to continue making it all better as possible. So, but yeah, crowscore.com. Make sure you check that out. All right. I don't want this video to get too long. We're already at 37 minutes. So, yeah. And I don't really need time for the trolls to be popping in and just, doing whatever they do. But good morning. Good morning. Listen, I'm just going to leave it there because I think I covered a lot of the most important stuff for the day. I think this could be a very good weekend. We'll see. Hopefully the Friday fake out is a fake out to the downside before we get some upward momentum through the weekend. It's going to be Valentine's weekend. Let's hope we get some bullish sentiment going on. And I know that we've got some big news coming, but I don't even remember what the hell all of it is. I've been working so much and just doing what I do. So thanks for joining me today, folks. Have a good morning. It's only 10:25 in the morning. Get on with your day. What are you doing here? Crow your coins, folks. I'll see you again soon.
If it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kind of patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm.